young lady vanished into thin air. That was the intriguing part. That was the piece of the puzzle that you had to solve first.
Ken Brennan is now fixated on this guy that he saw on the surveillance camera walking into the hotel. You first see him at that elevator entering it with Inna at about 3:41 a.m. And then you see him leaving with a suitcase at 5:28.
About an hour later, he comes back and he re-enters the hotel, but he doesn't have the suitcase with him.
Huh. Does that register something right away in your mind?
As soon as he comes back without the suitcase, now he becomes a person of interest to me. He was the only one that had the time and the opportunity to commit the crime and come back to the scene.
Many people would look at this video and just think, okay, a guy's wheeling a suitcase out of the elevator. Brennan sees something that nobody else would see.
Ken observed that when this man pulled the suitcase out of the elevator, he had to give that little suitcase a tug to get it over the little lip between the elevator and the floor.
The suspect has to reach back and grab the handles with both hands to pull that suitcase out of the crack. I do a lot of traveling, you do a lot of traveling. I'm sure you have a lot of your clothing items in it. Was it ever so heavy you needed two hands to pull it out of the crack? No, probably not. As soon as he made the tug, as soon as he tugged out with both hands, it was like a light bulb went off in my head and I said, she's in that suitcase.
Ken Brennan is convinced that this suitcase may well have a body in it. And the problem is he's having trouble convincing the investigators, in particular Detective Foote, that this could be a plausible way that Inna was taken out of the hotel.
You know, where's this guy coming out of left field with this black male suspect?
Alan Foote's reaction was that this just was not possible. The suitcase was too small. It was just an outlandish theory.
But this is a small suitcase. What would lead you to even think a woman could fit into a small suitcase?
Well, the reason why I thought a woman might be able to fit in the suitcase is because this is a large guy. So our frame of reference on how large a suitcase is might be a little off. So I decided to use a measurement of the suitcase in relationship with markings on the elevator itself.
With that reference point, it's pretty incredible. Brennan's able to determine that the bag is actually 29 inches high. And if you examine this image where we see the suitcase against the floor runner, he concludes that the bag is 19 inches wide, just like this one.
Then I knew exactly how wide the suitcase was.
And then you were able to really theorize that someone could fit in there.
That's correct. What I did was I had one of the fellows that worked for me had a girlfriend who was that size. So we got a hold of a suitcase that was the same dimensions and see if she could fit in it. And
oh, she did.
he goes, yeah, it can. She fits fine.
The theory seems so bizarre. I mean, a grown woman being stuffed into a suitcase? So we decided to conduct a little unscientific experiment just to see. We went to a gymnastics school and found a couple of women who were about Inna's size and asked if they would help us figure this out. Our volunteer is about 5'3", Inna's size, and to our shock and amazement, she was actually able to fit inside this suitcase comfortably. We could zip it up and wheel her around. She was okay, but it proved Brennan's theory.
So I knew that she would fit. All I was doing is basically validating what my hunch was.
Brennan's theory actually fits now, the evidence and even the timeline. He's able to conclude that this guy was able to go into the hotel, follow Inna, we see him on the elevator, somehow assault her, put her in the suitcase, we see him leaving the hotel with the suitcase, get her in his car, drive her to a location and dump her body, and then come right back to the hotel.
All the puzzles started fitting in together at that particular point. And I knew I had my guy then. Then I just had to find out who the heck he was.
The real dilemma at this point for Ken Brennan is he has a person pulling the suitcase, but he has no idea who that person is.
He's got to find this guy. He's got to identify this guy. It's not a job anymore. It's an obsession.
I said, hell or high water. I know I'm right. I could feel it. I knew this was the guy, and I was going to catch this guy.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.